Google hacks for organic search for your cleaning business. That's what we're going to talk about today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, in order for you to be able to do the Google hacks for organic search for your cleaning business, you're going to need a little bit of time because it's a little bit of a process. So where do you get the extra time? Well, you outsource the rest of your repetitive tasks to House Call Pro. House Call Pro is the #1 service software for service providers. So it can automate a lot of your customer details, all the information that you need for each of the different job orders, all the different information about what you're charging, your upsells, all those things, all of the different invoicing information, and your one-click credit card processing. So check it out at housecallpro.com/Angela. All right, now, once you've outsourced the repetitive tasks to House Call Pro, you can come back to your business and you can focus on the organic search and all the different Google hacks that we're going to talk about for organic search. All right, now today joining us is a special guest. He's a returning guest to our show, and this is Royce Ard from Amazing Maid. He's in Columbus, Georgia, has a ginormously successful business, and one of the things he's been doing is in the background of his business, he's been growing his business through organic search on Google. Now, if you ask where's the most important place to be as a house cleaner if you're trying to grow your business, when I started my business, it was the yellow pages. But long gone are those days where people are getting the big fat magazines in the mail, right? They're not searching for you there anymore. They're searching for you on Google. So if you're just starting your business, you need to start your foundation today so that when you start paying the money for Google AdWords and you start to scale your business, you already have a foundation set up. So please help me welcome, with all the different amazing Google hacks for organic search, help me welcome Royce Ard.
Hey, Angela, this is Royce Ard with My Amazing Maid, and I'm excited to talk about how to get your website visible on Google.
Well, that's exciting for me. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's exciting for me because you are a superstar in the Georgia area, and I am really wanting to know how you went from setting up your website to using Google and all that stuff to get found.
Well, we did a lot just like everybody. We started with a single page website and found that over time, you have to do a little bit more if you really want to be found in what they call above the fold. So in the top half of the page on Google.
There are a lot of business owners that are just getting started in the cleaning business and they don't have a lot of money. Is there anything they can do to be found on Google that is free?
There's basically three ways that you can show up with the Google search. The first thing is what they call Google My Business, or a lot of people call it the Google Business Listing. That's free. And it requires very little work to get it set up. The next thing is really a longer term play. But again, if you can do a lot of the work yourself, doesn't cost a lot of money. And that is just having your website found by Google. Google actually has a piece of software called the Google Bot, which crawls all over the internet every day. And it finds terms and content that it uses to index the internet, the web. And then the last way, which a lot of people start at, but I would say it's really the next step, is AdWords. So these are paid AdWords, keywords that you use for when people do a search, you show up as an ad in hopefully the top 3 sections of the ads on Google.
Now, when you say show up on Google, what exactly does that mean?
So what it means is if someone searches for, let's just say, house cleaning Columbus, Georgia, which is how they would find us. And then there's going to be 3 different sections. So the first is going to be the ads. These are paid ads. The next are going to be the business listings. So this is the section I was calling Google My Business. And then below that will be just a complete listing of all of the websites that have those keywords in there. And they will run for pages. So the key is, how do you get your website found by Google, but then moved up to the first page? Because if you're sitting in the second or third page, chances are you're not going to be found. You'll be found by Google, but you won't be found by the customer that you want to find you.
Do you think that people typically click on the first 3 or 4 or 5 listings on Google?
I think a lot of times people will look for consistency. So they see your ad, they see you show up, next to the map in the business listings, then they read down a little bit and then they look. There's a lot of things that you can do to stand out. Number one is, once you get your business listing, that's where Google will add reviews. And I had a call this morning and I said, hey, how did you hear about us? And she said, well, I found you on Google. You had the most reviews. Once you get your business listing, next step is try to get reviews, get as many 5-star reviews that you can get.
And what role does the review play in how Google views how important you are?
So when one of their customers does a search on the internet, that they find the most relevant website or company that fits their search terms. So anything like a review or just the fact that your address is consistent across the internet, all of those show that you have what they call authority. So based on that authority, then Google says, "Hey, this is someone that is probably would be a good website to show our customer."
Well, now you talked about the Google business listing and you said about your address. What if you are a solo house cleaner and you go out and you clean other people's houses, but you don't want to list your home address as your business address?
Yeah, a lot of people will find another address like a co-working space in town that you can get. You can also rent a post office box from like the UPS store. Any of those kind of things can give you an address other than your home address. And I would recommend using a business address, a commercial address anyway.
Let's say that you have done your Google business listing. Is there anything special or anything out of the ordinary that you need to do to set that up?
Google wants to make sure that that's a legitimate business. So they're going to send a postcard to that address. And that postcard's going to have a way that you can either they can call you on your business phone or you can send the postcard back. I think there's a couple different ways that you can confirm it, but you have to confirm your business address. That way, Google knows that, yes, that's truly a business. And one other thing I think is a good point to bring up is Google is never going to call you unsolicited. I get probably 5 or 6 calls a day, from recordings that say, "Your business is not found in on the Google listing." And that's just, somebody spamming you. That's just somebody, trying to get you to pay them to set up your business listing. This is something you can entirely do by yourself. If you can manage an online bank account, you can certainly set up your own Google listing on for your business.
And when you talk about setting up your own listing, is this considered organic search?
Yes, this would be organic. Organic tends to be all of the free type search, okay? And then the other is the paid search, which would go back to the Google AdWords.
And so if you're just starting out in the house cleaning business and you want some presence and you're not available or able to pay for the Google AdWords yet, what kind of free stuff can you do to be seen?
So you've set up your business listing, you've got some reviews. I mean, you've cleaned somebody's house who can give you a review. There's a strategy there to make sure that you have ongoing reviews because not only should your reviews you have a lot of reviews, you should have current reviews. That's one of the things that Google's going to look at is the age of anything that you put up. So you always want to have some fresh reviews. So you need to make that part of your business process on how you ask for reviews. A lot of times people use software that will do that for you. One of the most effective things I've ever done to get Google reviews, I created a postcard. It had the link to do a Google review for us, and we had a contest in the office. Our customers are more likely to do a review for their cleaning team than they are for me. When we have a contest and we say, the cleaning team that gets the most 5-star reviews, wins some money or whatever, their customers want them to win. I would say we've picked up 50 or 60 Google reviews just in that manner alone.
And one of the ways that we did it is we created a postcard with a QR code on it that took us right back to the Google reviews.
Even better. Yep.
And then we left that at every cleaning. Thanks so much for your business. By the way, if we earned your review, here's the QR code. And people would just scan it with their phone. They'd make a quick review. Bam, we're done.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to do it.
All right. So once you have your Google business listing set up and you've got some reviews coming in, how important or is there even a connection between your website and your, getting seen on Google?
Okay, so the next thing is your website. Google's purpose is to provide their search customers with the most relevant website search that they can find. So, what they're going to look for are companies that have authority in that topic. Okay, and the way that you build authority in the topic is by having good content. So, describe your cleanings, describe the difference between a deep clean and a recurring clean. And then you want to have a good idea of some of the common words that people search for when they're doing a Google search. So, for instance, the words house cleaning, the words maid service, house cleaning service, because what we're talking about here is SEO, which stands for just for search engine optimization. So, how to optimize your website so that it's found by the search engines. You'll find companies that have blogs because blogs open up a way to add a lot of niche content. You go out and you create all of this content, and it gives more for the Google bot to find.
Now, you were talking about authority on your website. So would it be fair to say that in order to create authority on your website, that you keep your website exclusive to your cleaning business? So you're not talking about dog food and you're not talking about shoes you bought at the dollar store or whatever. You're talking about strictly things for the cleaning business.
This is all an automated process, so you don't want to confuse, the web crawler, the Google bot.
So if you have a targeted website, you're going to attract targeted customers.
Yeah, that's correct. And because they're going to use, their keywords are going to, lead them to your website. There's another piece that leads to authority. There's on page SEO and there's off page SEO. We tend to talk a lot about the on page SEO, which are the keywords and the content. There's another thing, off page SEO. And what that is when you can have other websites, YouTube channels that will link back to your website, because then not only do I have the authority that my website's creating, but I have the authority that Angela Brown's YouTube channel is creating for my website. And that really helps move you up through the rankings.
So would it be fair to say that if you were to link to other businesses that are similar to yours, like let's say that you had a network, for example, of carpet cleaners and window washers and things like that, that had equal businesses in your area, would it be fair to create an alliance with them? And when you do an article, let's say on carpet cleaning, that you link to those other local businesses on carpet cleaning?
Yeah, absolutely. But make sure that they're linking back to you as well.
Do you have any tricks for getting other companies to link back to you?
That's a tricky one. I mean, you just have to put your name out there and and start to get to know people. There are different types of websites that you can write a blog post for that will include your link as part of their posting.
Now, earlier you mentioned about AdWords or keywords. What is the difference between AdWords and keywords?
Usually, when we talk about keywords, we're talking about words that are being used in SEO. So as they relate to your website, you're including them in the overall text of your website. But just to confuse things, keywords are also used with AdWords. So when you start talking about AdWords, so now we're talking about, how to show up on Google where you're going to spend some money. So this is a paid search. You're going to have a couple different components there. First of all, you're going to select your audience. In our businesses, we don't worry so much about who is connecting to our website. We worry more about where they are. So we set a sort of a geofence around the areas that we serve. Then the second piece is the keywords that you're going to use so that when someone does a search for those, that you show up. So you want to write a relevant ad. A lot of times, we include our city names in as many ads as we can, so that that helps and create the relevance as well. And then
And do you also use the keywords then in your ads? So the
yeah,
keywords
yeah. I
connect
mean,
back as
anything.
well?
Yeah. You want to use the keywords as much as you can, because again, it gets down to consistency. The more consistency that you can have, the more you look like an authority to Google. But there are only a few keywords in our business that really get a lot of searches. So, house cleaning, maid service, house cleaning service, house cleaners near me. Those types of keywords are the ones that you want to focus on. So you have keywords and you have negative words. And it's just like what you think. So a keyword is a word that you want people to search for, and a negative word is one that if they do search for it, your ad won't show.
So like dry cleaning would be a negative keyword.
Exactly. But when you're doing your research, cleaning service is actually the highest search term in our area. Makes sense, okay? Because that covers a lot of different things.
Oh my goodness, that's fascinating. And you just shared with us so many different ways that we can become visible and so many ways we can save money. So thank you so much. This was super helpful. And I feel like we just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, we can. It's a really a big thing. And to be honest with you, it's one of the things that as you do grow your business, you're going to have a digital strategy. This is the interesting part too, is when you're putting flyers on doors, you are out there basically throwing darts and hoping one of them hits. So you're hoping that one of those homeowners wants a maid service. Well, on Google, it's different. Everybody that's doing a search wants a maid service. Okay. So that is the audience that you want. So it has to be part of your strategy. And you're going to spend a lot of money on it. So when we look at how much money we spend in marketing, I mean, that's going to be the top line every month.
If you're just starting out in a cleaning business, about how much money should you budget for this digital marketing strategy?
It's not as expensive as you would think. I mean, you're going to need to spend at least $300 or $400 a month on the ads. If you're going to have someone help you, you may have to pay another 250 or more for their help. One thing I would tell you as well, that's a sort of a cautionary tale, is they need to be working in your AdWords account, okay? Because you may not keep them forever. And if they have all the data at some point in time when you leave, you won't know not only what you've been doing, nor will you know how successful that they've been. So insist on using your own account and set it up for yourself. And that also just keeps everybody honest and transparent.
Ooh, that is so good. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right, Royce, tell our listeners where they can go to find you and learn more about you and hire you if they're in the Columbus, Georgia area.
Okay, so we're easy to find on the web. You can do a search. We're all over Google, but it's myamazingmaid.com, or you can always call us at 706-507-MAID, MAID.
All righty, and that was Royce Ard with a ginormously effective list of things that you can do to grow your business today and be seen on Google. I'm going to leave links in the show notes to everything that he mentioned so that you can go there and find out a little bit more about him. You can get in touch with him. You can also try out the different avenues of getting your business listed on Google. All right, if you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.